a lot of the good food world, right, is not at scale. If you can start to think like, that more people want that, and it's all driven by the customer, just like coffee. We could be living in a world with we're just drinking styrofoam coffee. That's what I always tell everybody. But instead we'll work, and that'd be 50p. Instead, we're living in a world of 4-pound coffee. Now, which world do you want to live in? Which world do you think?
Well, I like good coffee. So.
I know, and I think the world has voted that they like the coffee. You can't find styrofoam 50p coffee anymore, right? And I think the same thing should be thought of as food, but there's a whole ecosystem that has to grow up, and part of that is that when I look around and I look at the really great small producers or innovative producers that are medium size, I think, wow, if there's some scale there, you automatically go down on the price.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you just, instead of one truck with one box, you've got, a whole truck filled with, it's that kind of concept. You also bring in more talent into it so people can think a little bit harder. So like for some of our guys, it's like, actually I could put robotics here that would save me, 10% on my cost, because really I just have one guy spinning it, taking a cheese, 2 times a week and flipping it over.
Yep.
We just had the same thing in baking. There's a bit of like when you cut something, the initial cut, if you can find something that you can cut and you're doing enough of them and they can cut it without hurting it, then it's great. Have it cut, right? And put all that manpower and brain power that, even my bakers would say some of that stuff that we were doing, 15 years ago is dumb work, and we don't want to be doing dumb work. We want to be doing smart work.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is really quite important. So I think, if you take those small guys and we can put some scale, it gets some scale economics, then it'll become more readily available. And I think I see that in what we've done, right? You basically can get better and better ingredients. You have to jump ahead of it a little bit. You have to trust.
When you say jump ahead of it?
Well, sometimes you just like, our flour, we're spending more on flour, not just because flour is higher overall globally, but because we're upgrading our flour wherever we can, wherever there's we're buying a bunch of heritage grains, as this stuff becomes available. And we're starting to talk to farmers about, hey, can you grow this? Do you want to grow this? And we know it's better for the soil. So we're starting to kind of work together and say, we'd like to change the thing from just saying, look, I need great flour. Mr. Miller, go find great flour, mill great flour for me, to saying, let's get the miller, the farmer, and the baker together. What does the farmer need to make sure that his land is healthy? And he says, well, I need to do these kind of things. And these are the kind of products I need to grow. And then we're like, okay, awesome. Now, the miller, how do we want it milled? And then the baker says, okay, fine. I'm gonna ask what the earth can give us, and then we make the best bread from that, rather than we just say we want to make the best bread. And that's partly because we as a society are redefining what bread is and food is. It's basically nutrient rich, not just calories. It tastes good and it's good for you. Basically, that's what we're willing to pay for, and we should, because it's great for our bodies. No chemicals, nothing like that. So you go back and you say, I want that whole system to be healthy. So I'll be healthy. Like nobody will buy a soccer ball from, or judge it to be a good football, even if it's good physically, if it's made by, child labor in, Pakistan or somewhere.
Yes.
That's not a quality football, and it's not a quality loaf unless you there's some thoughtfulness there. So this whole system has to be created. Okay, it doesn't exist. There's not a whole bunch of farmers that are sitting there doing amazing stuff and then just looking for a market. Unfortunately, it's not. But there is, I think. But we can change that whole thing. Yeah, it might take a decade or two, but you just start valuing the things that matter, like which is nutrients, good farming, sourcing, and then and you have bakers and not machines to start out with. Then you start to say, they can connect the whole thing. And you got it.
Espressos is sponsored by supply chain software gurus Unleashed. It talks to your e-com and accounting software. It's helped islands cut admin time in half, get granular clarity on your margins, know where your stock is, don't miss availability. Brands like Candy Kittens, Tiny Rebel, and Trip all use Unleashed, and so should you.